I'm going to talk about the 3 different levels of integration available for the Pro XPC automatic gun and controller system. The 3 levels are no integration, basic integration, and full integration with a PLC. The first one we'll talk about is no integration. This is the simplest possible setup for people who want to run the system manually in local mode. All settings and adjustments and turning on and off the high voltage are done locally on the controller screen. The required connections for this are the power cable, the gun power cable, the ground wire from the controller, and the fluid ground bracket and associated grounding wire in the fluid supply line. There are 2 interlock inputs on the control module, and these are designed to be interfaced with either the booth fans or the booth door. The interlocks can be satisfied with dip switches inside the control module or through inputs in the I/O cable if the system requires it. And now we'll talk about basic integration. This is the basic level of integration for automated spraying. The required connections are the power cable, the gun power cable, the ground wire from the controller, the fluid ground bracket and associated ground wire in the fluid supply line. In this case, you will be using the I/O cable and you'll be attaching it to either a robot controller or some other type of basic system controller that's driving your paint line. The connections you will need to use on the I/O cable are pin 1, which is for program selection, pin 4, which places the control module in remote mode, pin 5 is used to turn on and off the high voltage, and then interlock number 1, which is pin 18, or interlock number 2, which is pin 19. And as before, these are to be integrated with the booth fans or the booth door, or if the system doesn't require those to be used, can be overridden with the dip switches inside the control module. Next, we'll talk about full integration with a PLC. This allows the most potential utilizations of options and features with the system. The required connections are the gun power cable, the power cable, the ground wire from the controller, the fluid ground bracket and associated ground wire, and the fluid supply line. In this case, the I/O cable will be run to a PLC. This allows many things, including program selection, on-the-fly voltage and current setting changes, error reporting and clearing, actual spraying voltage and current outputs for process monitoring, as well as several other features.